Once upon a time, I watched the creations of Mr. Walt Disney, where Cinderella danced the night away with Prince Charming, destined to fall in love, even with the threat of midnight upon her. I would sit there and pray for God to turn my pumpkin into a chariot, and my sweatpants into a ball gown, but my fairy tale never came. I never got my glass slipper or perfect prince. I never had my shining moment. The closest thing I've ever had to love is a 7th grade boyfriend who broke up with me, then started dating one of my friends the next week. It's things like that which make me wonder. Will I ever find love? Or will I be stuck, dancing alone forever?
My name is Erica Brown. I am 21 years old and I've been single for 8 years. I think a lot of romance movies built me kind of an image of love, one that's almost unattainable. I think my standards are pretty high, but I think growing and maturing over the years, I think I've learned that a movie kind of love is different than a real life kind of love. I think guys overlook me because I'm not like an outgoing kind of person. I don't think I stand out among other people. I'm kind of shy, more reserved. I think what stopped me from dating people is kind of like past experiences. Like my last boyfriend, we broke up in the 7th grade, and then like the next week he started dating one of my friends, and so that was kind of hard. And then he's like kind of kept trying to come back into my life, and I'll like kind of let him in, and then he'll just like bring another girl and like get another girl. And so I think I don't know where to put my trust because I keep trying to put it in the same place and it just keeps getting broken. And I feel like I'm always like the second choice for most guys that I've tried to like date. And so it's hard to find that one that'll like really pick me.
So pick me. Choose me. Love me.
I think this journey that I'm on is to find love and find the best way to find love, and also to kind of find myself along the way. Like, I'm excited to go interview these couples. Like, one's been married for so long. This other couple like met online. Like, I've never tried that, so maybe like I should try that. And then I don't know, this other couple, they were both divorced and then they kind of found each other. So I'm trying to see, like, after having love and then lost it, they found it again. So maybe they can help me try to find that love that they found. It's been a blessing and a curse to be single for such a long time. A blessing is I've been able to find myself, and now I know what I want and who I want, and it'll be easier to find that someone. And then a curse is, I don't know, I just feel alone sometimes. I don't have that someone to go to and to love, and I don't know, I wish I had that special someone to go to. I would say I'm ready to be vulnerable in the sense that I'm ready to just tell my story to someone, like give them my heart and my background and kind of give my all to them without giving them my all. Okay, so I'm going to go meet with my first couple to interview, Kirsten and John, and they actually met online, which is cool. So I'm hoping to see if they can give me any advice and to see if online dating is the way to go. I think online dating can be good, but I think there's so many out there that have this stigma that's like they're just for hookups. So I think trying to find the right one is kind of key.
I'm Kirsten.
I'm John.
And we met online.
We've dated for 2 years, 9 months, and 10 days. I didn't expect to meet her online. I didn't expect to meet anybody online. It was just for like, playing around. Giggles. Don't really matter. But something positive turned out.
I definitely think mine was a dare when I was a freshman in high school to just download the app because it always popped up. And then, something positive came out of something that was just supposed to be a game, really. With online dating, I think it forces you to learn that person's personality before anything else. Because, yeah, you can look at pictures, but you're not really seeing them. You're trying to learn and figure out, like, their personality first before you base it off, like, yeah, it's based off physical traits, but it's more personality when you do it. But in person, it's like you're basing it strictly off physicality for the most part when you do it in person.
Like dating online, or at least stepping back from the physical aspect of the relationship, makes you know the person. It kind of forces you to know the person. So instead of just jumping into a relationship within 2-3 weeks of meeting somebody, you know, you kind of get to know them. Instead of knowing them physically, you know them mentally. So you know what hurts them, you know what makes them happy, you know what makes them, you know, you just kind of get a more well-rounded relationship.
Dating online was easier for me because I didn't have to, like, I don't want to say I didn't have to be myself, but it's easier to put up like a confident persona online when you're not dealing with somebody face to face. I'm much better with like texting, or because I don't even like phone calls like that. So just
I answer the phone all the time.
so just like texting and like being online gives me a certain confidence because I don't have to like look at somebody face to face all the time. So that's what made it easier for me.
I think it's kind of time to try new things. Like try the online dating maybe. Just try to put myself out there in more ways that I have. I think since the divorce rate is so high, I think our generation kind of views love not as important as older generations have. They kind of get into a relationship and have fun and just kind of try, but then when it gets too hard, they just kind of quit. Like they're not in it for the long haul. So I'm going to see Candy and Rod, and they're actually married before they found each other. So I'm kind of hoping for some insight on how to find love after you lose love. I think in some ways that kind of trust is kind of hard to fully give nowadays because there's so much like cheating and abuse and divorce. I think it's hard to fully give yourself to someone knowing that it could end really easily.
I'm Candy, and we've been together 5 years.
I'm Ronell Moore. Been with this lovely young lady for 5 years.
What was your dating and relationship experience like before you met?
I was married 25 years.
Yeah, I was married too. Mine was 16 years. Me and her met actually before I joined the military. After that, I joined the military. Brought her along with me. We got married, and you could just say we was the military family life, going from one place to another. War stopped breaking out, so I'm going home. I'm away from home a lot. So put a strain on a marriage, and then came back to the States. She got her a new person. Tore me down for a good while.
I would tell him, don't let this break you. Just because one person hurts you does not mean that everybody else is. There's somebody for everybody. I was married 25 years, and I'm going to tell you the last 5 years has been the most amazing experience. You thought you had love, and then when somebody else comes in and you're like, did I really know? Did I know? I never was treated like this. He never did this for me. I was with him for 25 years, gave him 3 kids. Never treated me this way. And I think it all has to do with the person.
I still feel like you can't give up on love. I think that even if it's not a love for someone else, you gain a love for yourself. You have to regain that love, like, well, he cheated or she cheated on me, but you have to find your self-worth. You have to find that it wasn't you. My perfect guy is someone who isn't afraid to show some emotion. Not too much, because I'm a little emotional, but someone who isn't afraid to like cry at the sad parts of a movie or be really excited. That I want him to be able to have like a kid side and a fun side, and someone who loves going to church and loves God, because that's what I love God and I love going to church, and that's a big part of me. and I want him to share in that with me. Okay, so I'm going to talk to this couple. They're called the Medleys, and they have been married for almost 40 years. I love romantic movies, and so Dear John is like, I love that movie, and I love like the letter writing in between them, and how it's so personal and old-fashioned, but like still full of love.
I'm Cynthia Medley, and I've been married 37 years. Will be 38 at the end of the month.
And I'm Tom, and I've been married to Cynthia for the last 37 years.
What role has faith played in your marriage, and do you credit it to your success?
I think that faith has probably played almost everything in our marriage. When you love someone, you don't love them to be separate, you love them to be together. I find it amazing those that have been married 60, 70 years together, when one passes away, the other passes within the year. And it's because of love. They actually became that one person, and they can't live without the other.
How do you know when a guy really loves you?
I think when I look back on the fact that Tom, when he came back from Germany from his military, he moved down to Galveston where I was at school. He didn't have an income, and so he lived on the beach so he could be near me. So if a guy's not willing to go the extra mile for you, I'm not sure he's the right one.
I remember in Germany, mail call was the most important time of the day. And you waited and wanted to hear your name called out because there just wasn't that much. And once you get it, you would hold it, you'd smell it. And it's not whether she perfumed it or anything like that, but you could smell the other person.
You cherished it more.
Yeah, you would read it, and then you would stay with you the entire time.
He would write the letters and he would write the poetry to share. And I failed miserably.
Actually, that's not quite true. I still have all of her letters that she wrote me.
What advice do you have for me as far as dating goes?
When it comes to dating, date for fun, not for seriousness. When you start looking and deciding that a relationship is getting serious, always look and say, is this the person I can have fun with for the rest of my life?
I think my end-all goal in this is just find my man and get married and start a family and to just kind of build a life with someone. I think the best way to find my person is to just be me, like just stay the same. I'm not gonna change who I am just because I feel like I have to find him like now. I think I'm just gonna stay me, and when I find him, it'll be the right time in my life, the right time in his life, and I think this journey has helped me just to stay patient and not try to rush things.
If you would have asked me a few months ago for my definition of love, I probably would have said some Nicholas Sparks quote like, "The best kind of love is a love that awakens the soul, that makes us reach for more, that plants a fire in our hearts and brings peace to our minds." Throughout this journey, I've learned a lot, but mostly I've learned Nicholas Sparks was wrong. There is no best kind of love, because love is different for everyone, and for some people, there is that happily ever after. But for a lot of people, love fails. Love is beautiful and miserable and fantastic and horrible all at once. But at the end of it all, I'm not ready to give up on love. Because even though I believe love is a gamble and there are no guarantees, and I could very well end up heartbroken, the chance for something great is out there. I just have to find it.
My definition of love would be caring, just caring for people.
Finding someone that you share a special bond with.
Being the most raw version of yourself with somebody.
Knowing that no matter what you have to do that day, right next to you is your best friend.
For me, I think the definition of love really focuses on being sacrificial. I think it proves in your effort to show the person what you're there for them. And I think it plays differently for everybody.